Welcome back to another Advance Wars by Web replay review, and today you may have noticed that we've got a different interface, and that's because the replay player behaves really weird when Umber Wilds is involved, and it was making some infantry translucent and some other weird things were happening. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to go back to the source and review the replay from the website itself. So let me know if you're a fan of this interface or if you prefer the replay player. And you can also let me know if you heard that car rev up its engine from outside, because that also just happened. But there it goes again. Let's just go right into the game. Speaking of revving up the engines, let's get this game rolling. I'm player 1 on the right, playing as Cobalt Ice, one of my favorite factions to play along with Yellow Comet. And I'm playing as Andy, who likes to repair units, because he's a mechanic. And then over on the left, you've got my opponent, Lieutenant Sterling, who was rated around 1,000 when we started this game, I do believe, who's playing as Sami, who gets a 1.5% capture point bonus to her infantry, so you have to knock her infantry down to 3 to interrupt a cap and delay it for a turn. And also, her superpower lets her capture buildings in 1 turn, regardless of the unit's HP, which is really good. And if you have not won a game by capturing their HQ with a 1 HP infantry, let me tell you, it is like one of the best feelings in the world, and you should try it sometime. Alright, speaking of revving engines, we got a recon over here. It's gonna cruise along this road, which I mean is really conducive to recons over here on the weak side. By the way, I forgot to mention that this is my weak side because I have one base here. This is a strong side because I got 2 bases, and this map is pretty cool. I'm gonna talk about the map here in a second. I'm not too good at it, and I don't really know the strategy, but from the games I've seen and played, usually it kind of devolves into like, I'm going to attack on the strong side, my opponent is going to attack on their strong side, and that's just how it goes. But you got a lot of cities in the middle, and the HQs are in the middle as well. So if you win the middle, you get all these cities, and you can push for the HQ. So we got 3 fronts going on, a lot of tactics, a lot of options. That's how you know it's a good, exciting map, and it's going to be a good, exciting game. But we got an artillery to counter the recon, so if I just zoom in here, the artillery's just going to blast me. And almost called this an Earth Shaker cannon from 40k. That's the Imperial Guard have a unit called the Basilisk, and it's basically looks exactly like the artillery, and this weapon's called the Earth Shaker cannon. So if I accidentally call this thing the Earth Shaker cannon, just know that I've been playing too much 40k recently. And also that I'm a huge nerd. But you guys probably already knew that, just based on looking at me. Because I've gotten that from some girls in dating apps. They're just like, "Are you a nerd?" I'm like, "Yep." How could you tell? And they're like, "I could just tell." So that's very astute of them. Anyway, I bring the tank over to reinforce the recon, but the problem is you got another tank coming in to reinforce and the artillery, so this recon's just going to get blasted. And this attack didn't even like do anything. It didn't interrupt the city at all. That 5 is just going to get repaired up to a 7 next turn. So this recon plays a little silly. I should have kept the recon in reserve and just used it to shoot some infantry later. But you know, what's a Kesler game without throwing away units needlessly? I'm gonna be really aggressive up here on the strong side. That's my play. I am going to just not be able to stop a lot of these Sami captures, so I just have to be really aggressive up here. I pull the recon back and protect it with the tank, so at least Sami can't be, you know, if Sami like gets a little greedy and chases it down, then I've got 3 tanks over here in this area. But my opponent has more than 2 brain cells, so that's not gonna happen. And this is actually a free shot, so good find over here by Lieutenant Sterling. I could move the tank down here and take a city shot, and then probably like a 5-8. But the problem, maybe even a 5-9. But the problem with that is that it's going to get shelled by the artillery, and you have this other tank, so it's a guaranteed dead tank for 5 damage. Totally not worth it. Although this is pretty much a free pickup as well, because I've got 3 tanks in the area, and my opponent only has 1 tank and 1 artillery. I shoot the infantry, it's not going to interrupt that, but it's going to weaken it. And that's just what I was going for. I'm going to try to be really aggressive up here. I'm going to repair the recon, and the recon is still being covered by the tank, so again, the tank can't get too excited. Build a nice battle copter flying around, so my opponent built the anti-air last turn to counter it. And now my opponent just moved the infantry off the airport, so probably a battle copter is coming. Maybe an anti-air here would have been nice instead of this tank, just in preparation for the battle copters coming out. And Sami retreats here, puts a infantry on the comm tower so it can't take it. So this is pretty good. Although that artillery is a little open. If I can find I can probably pick up this infantry and get a nice shot on the artillery. So probably could have done a little bit better of a job walling there for the artillery. Maybe put the artillery on the city and the tank in front. I don't know. I just feel like this is a little suboptimal, and it is. But however, I am giving up the entire middle. So Sami's going to get these four cities, and there's not a whole lot I can really do. Well, actually, just kidding. I am going to take out this infantry right here, and the anti-air is not going to be able to reach the copter, and this tank is not going to be able to reach my tank, and nor are these tanks up here. So that was a free pickup there. Just left that infantry hanging on the city. But I am going to try and be aggressive and break through up here. So I move this infantry and this tank to kill the infantry on the comm tower. Then I use this tank to knock that infantry down to 1 and take a nice shot on the artillery. Bang, knocks it all the way down to 2. And now I'm going to start this city. Probably going to get interrupted by this infantry coming up here and taking a shot. But the way I see it, got to be aggressive. And if infantries are fighting, then they're not capturing. So I'll take it. I retreat off these cities, which now Sami can plunk her tanks on there and get that defense bonus right there. Artillery takes a shot and only does 2 damage. There's that city interrupt. And then gonna fight in with some tanks. Got some reinforcements. Battlecopter comes in. That's a free shot. That's a free kill right there. But I did get massive damage on that artillery and a few infantry pickups. So I am not upset with how that went. And now Sami's gonna group up her units down here. We got this artillery covering the city. These tanks covering the artillery. Nice little infantry wall. Anti-air is in a good position to counter the copter. So good setup right here. Good formation by Sami. So I cannot attack into this. I just have to, and I think this was a roll. So I got really lucky with using the infantry to take out the artillery, which means that I don't have to commit anything else. I moved the recon that got healed up to 6 to shoot this guy, and this 4 wasn't going anywhere, so I might as well just pick up this infantry, and I'm gonna retreat everything else pretty much. I'm not pushing at all over here. This is just a massive blob of units that is going to be instant death if I try to attack. So I'm just going to defend all the cities and comm tower that I have over here, and maybe deny this, and just try to play up here on the top. And as you can see right here, I am down 3K in income. And those of you who are astute might see the italicized stats there. So then you already know who's won this fight. So spoiler alert there. But I still think it's a really exciting game. And maybe if I didn't call attention to that, you wouldn't have noticed. But I guess we'll never know. Okay, so now Sami is going to try and be really aggressive on her strong side as well. Gonna regroup these units after taking the middle. Now shifting down here to the bottom, so that's really smart. We got a big formation of Simian soldiers coming down here as well, starting this city. And I think I just have to give that up. I mean, the artillery is covering it. I built an artillery of my own. And as you will see in this match, my artillery are going to do absolutely nothing. But right now it is covering these units, and got a copter shifting up here to try to help out. And the thing about copters on this map is that you can just move them up and down along these mountains, so it can go to the middle, or it can go back down if necessary. But I'm going to prepare for a push up top. I put a nice little wall of penguins right here, and this is a free shot because the anti-air cannot reach the copter, so I'm able to pick up that guy and shoot this guy too. These tanks can reach, but I've got and the copter can reach too. But I got an anti-air, I got a medium tank, I got some other tanks to reinforce. So I'm like kind of stretching my forces a little bit by getting those infantry kills here. But I'm also preparing to group up here and attack. And with this penguin wall, then maybe I can attack eventually when I get my medium tank, for example, in position. Okay, but Sami's gonna fight back, pushing back up towards the middle, and the artillery repositioning itself. Now it's low fuel. It's at 13 fuel, but okay, the copter's gonna go down here and join the column. Nice wall there. And Sami's gonna now she shifted her units down here, and now she shifts. Okay, this is tongue twisters. She shifted her units down here, and now she shifts them back up. She shifted her soldiers to the south. That's a tongue twister right there. Okay, nice little defensive formation right here. I can get some shots in, but without the proper reinforcements, that would just be silly. I do build another anti-air. Now I'm going to start this city and just regroup over here. These units are just going to sit by. I can't really push up into range, and then I'm just get blasted. Oh, but look at this. The Wrecking Ball of Doom has now been built, and it is going to be ready to just go through my forces like a bowling ball goes through the pins when someone other than me throws an actual good roll down the lane. But I'm going to move my forces up here. The penguin wall gets reinforced. When one penguin falls, another one just rises to take its place, just like a hydra with the heads. Defend these cities, and now we got the diagonal formation here, like a little L formation, which is what I'm about to hand to my opponent. Gonna show my opponent here. Got a preview of that L. I'm just kidding. Okay. What did I build? A tank, 2 infantry. All right, solid. I saved a lot of money. I'm saving a lot of money to build a Neo tank to counter this Neo tank. Takes a shot right here. This copter. Okay, so I mean, this seems a little redundant to me because you could have had this copter go on this mountain and shoot, and then you could have had this copter stay down here where you wanted this copter. That doesn't really make sense to me, but okay. Now the copters go down here. This is a pretty good position. It can transfer both to the middle and over here up top, as I had stated earlier. And now the tanks retreat. And okay, now Sami advances her column towards my column. We're about to have a big clash of forces right here. We're like the British, before the Revolutionary War, just lining up the forces with muskets and pointing them at each other. Okay, but now I can expand a little bit down here on the weak side because Sami's entirely vacated it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move these infantry up here because I got to be ready to defend an HQ push, put the tank on the HQ. It's never too late to blunder your HQ. But now it is time to go in on the strong side. Anti-air goes in the city, picks up the copter. Move the other anti-air to reinforce, and now we're attacking. Bang, attack the tank. Attack this tank. Attacking the infantry, killing the infantry, capturing this city, moving this infantry up, and I'm not attacking. I'm not attacking because I would lose that engagement. 8 HP infantry on a Sami infantry, I'm just going to get blasted to like a 2. And my tanks move up to reinforce, and now the fight has officially begun. We are about to do battle, and then I build a Neo tank of my own to counter this Neo tank, and I have to defend the HQ. A victory march. I mean, my forces right here, all my strong vehicles went up here, so I have to reinforce the HQ. All right, but now Sami will counterattack. Bang. That's a dead tank right there. Tank gets shot down to 5. Infantry is going to get... okay. I do not disagree. I do not agree with this shot right here. I think you would be better off shooting that copter, knock it down to a 1 or a 2. And actually pull the damage calculator up here with the website interface. Yep, knocks it down to a 1 or a 2, probably a 1 because that's how my luck is. And then this infantry, easiest pickup of his life right there on that copter. So just leaving that copter alive, I think, was a mistake. So you could have still interrupted the comm tower with the tank if you picked up the copter. So go back a second. This copter comes up, shoots that tank down to a 1. Then this infantry kills the copter. Tank can shoot from the plains, which is better than the road, and interrupt the comm tower. So I think that was a bit of a misplay there by Sami. Artillery comes up to reinforce this area a little bit. It's got 5 fuel now, but that's enough to get it back onto a city. And another, we can look at this, 2 Neo tanks. Sami is committing over here to this defense with these Neo tanks. Bang. And this tank is really aggressive. Comes up here, pops an infantry. Infantry now starts this capture. And then Sami retreats some of these guys to deal with my forces down here. But Sami's going all in up here in the middle, trying to take care of this area that I vacated. All right. And then now it is time. What can I do on this fight here? I'm facing down 3 Neo tanks. But I have a plan. We're going to kill this tank. We're going to use this anti-air to kill this copter. And then the hyper upgrade. All my units get healed. This 5 HP tank gets healed. It is all fresh. Look at this. No more numbers. Everything's fresh. And look at this. I actually was proud. This is probably super basic, and you're probably just sitting there watching going, oh, of course this would work. But I was proud of this. I delayed my comm tower cap until the hyper upgrade kicked in, so my infantry could be full HP and capture the comm tower, okay? This is the most basic Advanced Wars 101 tactic ever, but I was proud of it because I'm the type of person who would capture the comm tower early and then be like, oh no, I should have popped the hyper upgrade before capturing it. That's definitely something I would do. Bang, easy pickup. Now I've got 20% extra attack, 10 from the hyper upgrade, and then 10% from having popped a power. Neo tank goes on the HQ because it's never too late to blunder that, especially to Sami. Gonna take this shot right here, and then gonna bring this copter up to finish this infantry. Gonna do a lot of damage to that infantry first. They're gonna one-shot that tank. Gonna pop a copter. Have to retreat down here because there's no point in me fighting into this. I can't really gain any, like I have 1 infantry. I can't gain any buildings from it. So there's no point in fighting. Let's just retreat. Put everything on buildings so it makes that victory march a lot tougher because Sami's got it. It's fully charged. I'm going to shoot this infantry and finish it off. Can I have this infantry hit this guy, finish him off. And I think that was a nice roll there. 6 HP infantry on a mountain. I think that was a roll. I'm going to take a couple more shots. Just got to spot kill infantry right here to make sure this victory march does not do any damage. Medium tank one-shots that. And I pull this tank back to hit this anti-air, which means I can be aggressive with this copter. Hits the infantry. I'm actually really proud of this turn. This is like the best turn of Advance Wars I've ever had in my entire life. I am not exaggerating. Oh, except for that roll. Do not get the roll there. That 1 HP tank survives. And I protect my medium tank. The Neo tank cannot get around to attack the medium tank right there. And some of my other units shuffle around. And I build another medium tank and an artillery. Because I figured I need to deal with this Neo tank. These Neo tanks coming out, so I'm going to get some artillery into position. But here comes Sami. You always see the victory march. One-shots this infantry. I mean, this artillery could have done that, but it's fine. And yeah, I was like thinking about this turn. Well, could have used this artillery to shoot this tank. And maybe shooting the anti-air, but even then, you build a copter. And maybe a bomber would be good, but because the mountains protect the airport from the anti-air, maybe a bomber would be good, but yeah, either way. Artillery shoots the tank. Yeah, okay, so the artillery does shoot the tank. Okay, so that was a good play. Shoots infantry. Yeah, because that was the only thing this Neo tank could target. I think maybe shooting this infantry first, and you have this Neo tank instead of shooting this guy. You come up here and pop this tank. I mean, that's an easy one-shot. So just prioritizing shooting infantry, but also that's a strat because, you know, I won't be able to capture anything if I have no infantry. And then Sami can reinforce, you know, Neo tank, medium tank, whatever, to help her forces out here, just make sure I don't capture stuff. Like, just kill the infantry to hold me off. And then, this airport, like, I can lock it by putting a copter down on top of it, but if I'm not capturing it, it's not, like, as impactful. But okay, Sami holds on to the victory march, because I actually did a really good job killing the dangerous infantry. And now let's see what we got. I finish off this tank with my 3 HP tank. And now we're going in on the Neo tank. You're gonna pop it down to 5. Medium tank comes in. Bang! High roll there. That was really lucky with those rolls. So that Neo tank is gone. I'm gonna start this city. This Penguin creeps closer to the airport, and my other units move up. This anti-air has nothing better to do other than just kill infantry. And I surround my medium tank so this Neo tank can't revenge kill it. We got a regular tank out here from Sami. And then since I'm not afraid of this 3 HP anti-air, I'll shoot this tank. Gonna shoot this tank as well. And I'm gonna take this fight right here. Bang, 9-4. I'm pretty sure that hitting that down to a 4 was a roll. But I was happy about it. And even though I'm in artillery range, it's still looking really good. Check this out. We got... It would knock me down to a 5, and then against a 5, it's a pretty even trade. He knocks me down to a 3, or probably, and then I would knock him down to a 2. So I was happy with this engagement right here. Medium tank's still too far away to do anything, but also I'm gonna shoot at this artillery with everything. Get a nice roll here with this infantry on the mountain, and knocks it down to a 6. So that's going to get repaired up to an 8, but hey, that's less damage it can do to the Neo tank. Now I try to move some of these stragglers up here to the top, because I need infantry right here, and I got to defend down here. Still got to keep everything on buildings. It's never too late to blunder something to a victory march. And Sami goes in. The artillery knocks this thing down to a 6. This artillery, I mean, the only thing it could shoot at was that infantry, so good shot there. Wow. Okay, I did not think it would do that little damage. I thought it'd knock me down to like a 2 or something. And then Sami resigns. So I mean, look at the stats. I had 26 kills, 11 deaths. And that turn I had with the hyper upgrade and the turn after were like the 2 best turns I've ever had playing this game. And it was pretty exciting. Sami did a lot of like shifted up to the middle and then shifted back to the strong side, and maybe the game would have gone differently if Sami committed. But with that shifting up to the middle, Sami did get all of these like contested cities, which was pretty good, and that's what Sami should be doing, is getting all these contested cities early and then using the income lead for her advantage, like with the Neo tanks. But yeah. I thought this was a really good game, and let me know in the comments if you like the new interface with the website, or if you want me to go back to the replay viewer, and I will see you all in the next one.